So today is part 3 of my college series where I am sharing tips, tricks, and advice on how to come into college prepared and get success and get the experience that you want out of college. For those who don't know me, my name is Liz and I am a blogger at LizMargaret.com, which is a platform I use to encourage other young women in their faith. However, if you're not a Christian like me, that's totally okay. I'm still sharing tips and practical advice, but I just wanted to tell you that this is the perspective that I'm coming to you at. But I still have a lot of great insight to share. Let's get started into the video. So part 3 of the series is going to be talking all about grades, how to get good grades, how to stop procrastinating and be productive. So yeah, I mean, if you get into college, I'm sure you want to, have success in your academic career, and that is totally possible. Obviously, there's going to be challenges up ahead, but the tips I'm sharing with you is what has worked for me. These are real advice that I've taken when I was in college. So the first thing all about grades is that grades, first and foremost, they are not your worth. Remember that they shouldn't be your world, they shouldn't be your worth. While you might be wanting to make goals for yourself, which is great, just remember at the end of the day, that's not your identity, that's not who you are, and don't be hard on yourself when it comes to your grades. That's the first thing, be balanced. If you are attending school and you want an education, put the work in. Whatever you put in, you're going to get out of your experience. So first I want to say it's totally possible to get good grades. One way that you can help do that is to select your classes wisely. Depending on your school, you're going to have certain requirements for general requirements, and you're also going to have major requirements. So I think it's important, first and foremost, to select your classes so that you're not overloading yourself. For example, if you know you have to take a very tough class one semester, maybe don't overload with a bunch of tough classes, because then it's going to be hard to balance your time, and you might find that because you didn't schedule yourself right that semester, that your GPA might be impacted by that. Work with your advisor. There's usually a major advisor, someone that you can go to talk about whatever classes you're looking for in your major, and things like that, to really help you find the right classes. And a great part in selecting your classes wisely is shopping for classes. In other words, you're going to have a period of time where you can add new classes to your schedule or remove classes from your schedule at the beginning of the semester. And this is great if you want to check out a class one day, see how you like it, get the syllabus, and see if this is something that you're looking for and that fulfills your requirement. Another thing that can help is talking to your professor beforehand. Every single semester, I would always email my professor beforehand if I wanted the syllabus, if I wanted to know what books I needed so I can order them beforehand. So I would highly recommend that you reach out, because hey, your professor is going to get to know you first and foremost, and you kind of get a preview of what you're looking into. But again, don't be afraid of dropping a class if it doesn't suit you. If you drop a class one semester, that's okay. You can either take the same class later when it works better with your schedule, or you can just take a completely different class that works for your requirements. Second is get to know people. Get to know your professors and get to know people in your class. Your professors are the people who are grading you. Your TAs might be the people grading you, depending on the size of your class. Getting to know your professors and building a relationship with them is so key, because they're going to be the ones that can help you, especially if they know you, they see that you're participating. They might even give you some credit at the end of the semester on your final grade. Trust me, it happens. It's happened to me. And then also for other people in your classes, get to know your peers. At least have I would always try to have 1 or 2 people in a class that I knew, because if you need homework help, if you need to ask for advice or anything, they got your back. So, just be wise in who you trust. Don't cheat off of each other. Don't do any of that stuff. Just have someone that you can study with. It comes in handy so many times. If you need help, don't wait. Don't wait to get help. Go to a tutor, go to your professor, talk it out, see how you can improve. It's not worth it to wait, because if you wait till that exam comes up, if you wait for that paper, you're going to find that you're not going to be prepared. So when you're seeing a struggle, you're struggling in some area, get help as soon as you can. Budget your time wisely. If you want good grades, you have to put in the work for it. That means go to classes, don't skip classes all the time. I know people will do it. And if you need a break from a class, fine, that's totally okay. But if you expect to get an A plus in a class that you don't go to, that's not really realistic. So, and you're paying for it at the end of the day. So as you continue to go to college, just be mindful of what works for you. How do you read? How do you study well? What works best for you? How do you soak in the knowledge well? Because what works for someone else may not work for you. So try different tips and tricks with studying and see what method works for you and stick to that method. Again, with what works for you, what doesn't, what I found for me is when I was studying, I needed to rewrite things. I was a visual learner. So by rewriting things, maybe even drawing things out, for me, it helped me so much because I would memorize things by writing it. So if that works for you, study that way. Taking notes in class is so useful because a lot of times professors will say things that isn't in the PowerPoint that's available online that will be important for an exam or what have you. So definitely pay attention in class and take the notes you need. If you miss a class one day, see if you can get notes from a classmate or even at the professor. Sometimes professors don't like it when you do that, but it's not bad to ask. So yeah, that's the first thing with good grades. It's possible to get it. Put in the work. Figure out what works for you and go for it. If you're like me, procrastination definitely gets you. Procrastination will have an impact on your grades. For me, I realized my environment can be totally distracting. For example, I was like, I can't work in my room, especially if there's other people in my dorm. I will get distracted. So I've had to go to the library by myself or whatever. If you need to work in a library, if you have to work at a cafe, maybe even outside, find the environment that works for you so that you won't be distracted. Another thing I would say is block apps or websites that distract you. Tumblr and me, I could go on Tumblr for hours. Or if social media is your thing, other social media platforms, if you need to study, if you need to buckle down, and if you have a problem, if you're addicted to a website, just block it. Do whatever you can to not go on it, because that is a huge thing when it comes to procrastination. Another big thing that helps is scheduling yourself. I'll get into this more in my all about being productive, but something is that I budgeted my work into days. I split what I had to do into days. For example, if I had a research paper, instead of waiting 2 days before to do it, I would try to say, today I'm going to research my sources. Tomorrow I'm going to take notes on my sources. If you budget yourself like that instead of having to do everything in one day, you are going to thank yourself later. Budget your time. See how you can split yourself up for a deadline. Because the cool thing is in college, when you have your syllabus, you can see exactly what your deadlines are and how to split things up, split your work up so that you can get as much work as you can get done. If you need a break, take your break. Like I said, grades are not your identity. Don't kill yourself over trying to get a good grade. Don't overdo it. It's not worth it. Don't burn yourself out. So use your breaks wisely. If you need a break, take your break. If you need a nap, take your nap. 20 to 30 minutes will give you a nice boost. I would do that all the time. A power nap. If you need to work out, work out. If you need to walk, walk. It's important to be balanced. If you need to talk to a friend, talk to a friend. Whatever you need to do, take your break. Don't be hard on yourself. Get back to work when you can. You'll be able to build habits over time that help you. So all about productivity is, how can you work better to get more things done in less time, right? I think something I touched on before is how do you work? Do you work better with people or do you work better alone? Figure that out. See what situation you're most productive in and stick with it or switch it up. Another thing is scheduling. In addition to picking classes for your schedule in the semester, you want to make sure you're scheduling yourself smart. For example, if you have other responsibilities, whether that be a job, if you have extracurriculars, make sure you're scheduling your classes and your schedule to accommodate for those things, and make sure you're keeping spaces open for meals, you're keeping spaces open for your personal time, because again, if you overschedule yourself, you're going to not be able to be productive. Some other people might be able to do it, but that doesn't mean you should do it, okay? Another thing that's important is write things down. For me, I had a big calendar in my room, a very big calendar, and that helped me because I would write down my papers do this, that, and the third. So even if I might forget because I don't check my syllabus, it's right there on my wall and I can be like, oh my gosh, I have a test next week, So that is so key. Another thing is keep a planner with you. In addition to having a calendar, I'd have a portable planner that I would keep with me. I'm not always the best when it comes to keeping my planner updated, but I would try to, and that would be very helpful. So if you're the kind of person that likes to write things down, might as well get a planner. If you're more of a tech person, use your phone calendar. It will save you. Google Calendar, it will alert you right on your phone. It will put alarms, whatever you need to do, and that will save you. Trust me. Another thing is, if you're a visual learner, if you like to work with visuals better, bullet point stuff, draw it out, do whatever you have to do. And then that could also help you be more productive and organize your time better. Make goals for yourself. If you have certain goals for the semester, make those goals. Make sacrifices if you have to. Don't sacrifice your health, but hey, if you have to sacrifice going to dinner with your friends one night, that's totally okay. It's okay to sacrifice social time, whatever time you have to do, all in balance. Don't overdo it. But you know what? If you have goals, you're going to have to make sacrifices at the end of the day. So overall, I want to say, in terms of getting good grades and sort of in terms of stopping your procrastination and being productive in college, number one, go to sleep. Oh my gosh, sleep is so important. I would be so burnt out like crazy if I went to bed at 4 a.m. I have had to do an all-nighter maybe like once or twice, but I'm telling you, it's totally possible to avoid all-nighters in college. It all depends on how you budget your time. So go to sleep. Sleep is important. Don't just rely on coffee. Put your health first. Please go to sleep. Second of all is your hard work will pay off. Sometimes the end of the semester might seem far away. Sometimes graduation might be far away, but trust me, it is coming and your hard work is going to pay off. Sometimes something doesn't end up the way you think, but again, it's not the end of the world. If you fail in some way, if you make a mistake, don't put that on yourself. Don't take it personally. Just learn from it and move forward. Don't worry about what other people are doing. If your friend is in 10 gazillion extracurriculars and president of this, that, and the third, has an internship this semester, and he has a 4.0 GPA, that's great for him. But for you, if that's not what you have going on, don't even worry about it. Focus on yourself. Focus on your own goals. Focus on your own purpose and what you're trying to do. Because focusing on other people is just going to distract you and discourage you. Something that helps me is staying grounded in my faith. Staying grounded instead of what other people said I was, in who God said I was. And knowing that God had me, that is what continuously pushed me through. And that's what gave me strength. So don't put your hope and everything into just one thing, such as your grades, because that can change. So do your best, enjoy this time that you have, and you will be able to not only be successful in school, but enjoy the process. So thank you so much for watching part 3 of my college series, all about grades and whatnot. For part 4, that is coming out next week, and it will be all about the future. It'll be all about career planning. It'll be all about choosing a major, networking, all that great stuff. So stay tuned, subscribe so you don't miss the new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that this was encouraging to you, and I will see you guys in the next video.